Hey, welcome to Dan's Model Works. And I'm Dan.
And I'm Natasha, and this is the third part to our T-Bird parallel build.
So, we have been working on this on and off, mostly off. I've been doing a few other projects. Basically, I've been pacing myself to what Natasha's been doing. We started this in,
Was it July? August?
I think, August or September.
Oh.
I think it was August or September. Actually, I was after you went to camp.
It seems so terrible that it's taken me this long to um work on the T-Bird and we're not even done yet.
Yeah, but if you think about it, the way you've been working on your model is more a representation of how most hobbyists do a hobby, whether it's working on plastic models or doing macrame or something like that. And that most people will work on something for a day or two, or they'll come down and they'll get an hour and a half work in, and then weeks can go by where they're not getting anything done. And then, oh, gee, I worked on it for 4 hours, and then another month goes by.
That happens.
Exactly. So that's more of the way most model builders work. Whereas all too often we tend to judge things by um, people who manage to crank out a model every 2 weeks or even faster. I don't know how they do it because I struggle to put up a post every week and a half.
It might not look like it, but the body has been primed with I think it was flat white. Um, and it's ready for my cream. And after the cream, I can do more of the exterior details.
So as you can see, I've got my blue paint on my body here, and the underside is farther along than it seems. The engine only lacks spark plug wires, and then it can be mounted to the rest of the underframe. Of course, my interior I haven't done anything with, but there's quite a bit less to do on my interior than there was on Natasha's. So that's where we stand at the beginning of part 3 with the water heater kicking in, as you can probably hear. The joys of making YouTube in your basement. Here is the radiator that AMT gives us for our T-Bird, and I didn't take a before picture of it because the phone was dead that I'm using for filming here. But the fan shroud, and really it's more of just basically uh, a blade guard to keep a mechanic from getting his fingers chopped off. It was a very thick, heavy, chunky uh, semicircle there, and now I've thinned it down so that it has the appearance of a piece of sheet metal.
To start out this episode, I'm going to spray paint my body, the hood, and the roof, my cream that I made. And to recap, I made this cream by adding brown and a couple drops of yellow into Tamiya white. So I'm just about to spray paint now. So I'm finally done spray painting the cream on the Thunderbird. It took forever. We had some trouble with the paint. For some reason the cream was really lumpy. So we kept doing a bunch of coats on it and it wasn't really working. So eventually we used, well, Dad told me to use Neverdol. You just take the little pieces out of here and you just rub at the edges so it grinds down the higher points so it's all smooth. And then after that, I spray painted it with gloss coat after I cleaned it and sealed it all up again. So it's not perfect, but it's looking a little better. So yeah, we just test fit it to see how the blue actually went with the cream, and I'm pretty happy with it. I was afraid the blue might be a bit intense, but it seems to be okay. As you can see, I still need to put the doors in. Kind of forgot to do that. Um, I have to put the dashboard in, which is somewhere right there. Had to put the steering wheel on. The hood doesn't exactly fit perfectly. I put it in. Like, it's kind of up like that, you know? So I'll have to figure out how to fix that. Kind of scared to take the body off now.
Natasha and I have been working this project on and off for so long that it's difficult to remember what I've filmed and what I haven't, and I know she's run into the same problem. Since last time I did any filming, I've got my engine completed, the spark plug wire's in, and it's now glued in place, and you can see that my exhaust pipes actually link up properly. I've got the air cleaner on. One thing I did, can't remember if we filmed it or not, is we actually heated up right here with a soldering iron, and we bent this piece of the underbody up a little bit because it didn't come anywhere near matching the profile of the body. As you can see, I've painted my body color on the inner fender wells, on the underside of this part, and this piece of body trim underneath the rear bumper. So she was kind of teasing me yesterday. She said, "You haven't even put your wheels on." Well, I finally got enough work done on my underframe that I feel comfortable with actually gluing on the wheels. Then I'm not going to be like working against myself, breaking them off or anything like that. So I'm finally going to get that done. I've got my rear wheels on here. And yeah, I know they seem to be awfully far forward in the wheel wells, but when I put it inside the body, it seems to line up okay. I wanted to get these in first because they really don't have any choice but to go through the axle tube here. The fronts, if you may recall from, I think, our first episode, basically the wheel backs are going to be glued directly into our front suspension here. So I wanted to have these installed to make sure that I was getting these at the right level. Here's a refresher of our lovely bucket for our 71 T-Bird. And there's really not too many parts to it. Of course, the bucket itself. We've got the dashboard, and I've already started putting in the brown for the wood graining. And the seats. And they're all one piece going across. Although the backs are separate parts that got glued on. You can see I've put just a touch of filler there. Now, as for what color to paint the interior in this, I've seen, I think, 3 videos of 71 T-Birds, and they all seem to have jet black interiors, which I have to say does kind of fit with the times. So I think I'm mostly going to be painting the interior semi-gloss black. Now, anything that looks like it could be chrome, I am going to be putting some chrome silver on. Now, this support going up the side here, that is definitely chrome I've seen from pictures. Same thing on the other side. One thing I will be adding is, and they have it in here kind of vestigially, is this line running along here. That's actually supposed to be a fairly substantial armrest console on the door. So I'm going to be scratch building that. And that will hopefully give us a little bit more interest on the inside here.
So before I could actually glue the main body onto the frame, I had to glue a couple more parts in. And that included, I think the dashboard. I don't think I showed that last. The steering wheel. I still need to touch up the paint on the walls and everything, but that's coming along. I painted all the little parts. I don't know what they're called. The battery and the fluid bag. I painted them. I noticed in the instructions, luckily I looked at the instructions, that the bumper and all that fancy stuff is supposed to be on before everything goes together. So what I did with the bumper was I put some chrome bare metal foil on it. You can see the line there. I'll burnish it more later. It turns out to get that snug fit in there, it's hard to see. I had to cut out a little bit of plastic between the top plastic up here and down there. And then I sanded it and made sure it fit, painted some cream on it to make it look better. The license plate will go in the center there where the holes are. But it is an okay fit. Nothing's really changed with here. But the radiator is painted. And on the instructions, it tells us not to glue the radiator in. And it looks like it just fits. Sort of like the battery's in the way now, like that. See, it just slides in. And with the hood opening from the front, it gets out. And with the hood latch being right here, the radiator would stop that from opening. And I must have done something wrong because it's not fitting right now. But, yeah. So anyway, it tells us not to glue that in. So I'll have to look at that more. And something else, though, was, see, we're locking some windows here. The side windows. In the instructions in, how the doors open and everything, and, everything was separate. It wasn't a bucket or nothing. Everything was, you had to glue everything separately. The doors were supposed to open. I didn't want them to open. And the windows here, side windows, were supposed to, go in between, sandwich, inside the door and the door panel on the outside. And that was just not gonna fit. It was not working. So Dad suggested I just leave it for now and deal with it later. And that's what I decided to do. So we'll have to work that out later. So as I already said, the instructions tell you not to glue the radiator in or the hood. The hood makes sense. But the radiator, if you don't glue it in, it just kind of rattles about. And it's really hard to show you guys. But that white part, the part that's like this, is part of the hood, the plastic white part, and then the sticks are sticking up from the radiator, and the radiator is supposed to trap the hood so it doesn't fly open, but right now that's not working, so I'm just gonna leave the radiator as it is and glue it in. That's what I've been thinking all along. I'm just gonna glue it in, but I have to figure out how it's gonna affect things, and I'm just gonna chop off the longer parts of this. It will focus. Yeah, see the long parts and just leave the central hook.
As I continue working on my interior, you can see that I've actually switched gears. I'm not doing black, I'm doing a dark blue. And you can hopefully see that I've increased the width of this side panel here. This one I haven't done yet, but this is the size and shape of the part. It's basically doubling what's there. It probably should be triple, but the seats take up almost the entire width of the car anyway, so I don't want to go too thick. I figure at least just doubling it is hopefully going to give us the impression we want. These need a second coat. My interior is almost finished. As you can see, I've bulked up the side armrests over what they were. And I basically followed the details that were already there, plus what I saw on the kind of show off of video that I saw on YouTube of a 71. Actually, there's two 71s that were being shown in two different videos. And here's the dashboard, all done up. I don't think it looks too bad. I did not dry brush the markings in the instruments, basically, because I didn't think it was going to show that well, so I figured why add the hassle. The gear shift and the turn signal have been added. They're novelty straight pins with like large heads on them. So I do have to bulk up the sides of the instrument panel to get it attached to the bucket, though.
So I have, as you can see, the body is now on for good. I put some glue. Ignore the front of it for now, but oh, I guess you can't see it anymore. But it wasn't staying closed. Like the the body wasn't staying closed onto the frame, so I had to put a lot of super glue to smush it and then hold it and use the clothespin too for a couple hours. Um, the dashboard's in, steering wheel's in. I had basically done the interior though. The bumper's on, it had fallen off, but I put it back on. I put some bare metal foil on it. I'll smooth that out more later. The license plate's on, but I'm gonna put a decal over it. It was just kind of a mount for the decal. Um, but with the front, it's kind of horrific. The bumper's okay. Like I put the clear bits in, that's okay. Again, I glued the front on, but the headlights, one's missing. It's kind of gone. I don't know where it went. And the rest of them just look horrible. So, Dad suggested that I replace them, and um, that's not gonna be fun, but I think it's the best thing I can do. Um, I only use white glue, so I should just be able to tear them off pretty easily. And we were looking around because we were looking for, if we could make a mold from another kit, another headlight. We couldn't find anything exactly the same though, and like I said, they look terrible. So we looked through this kit I have, a '53 Ford truck. Dad actually has the same kit. So, see, you can build it three ways. So they give you three different options, especially for the front. And on the custom, there's four headlights. And I already know, spoilers, I already know I want to build it the stock way. That's only two bigger headlights. So, our plan was to take the quads, these two and these two, the ones for the custom, and to um, um, bare metal foil them, and then glue them on to replace the ones that are supposed to be here on the Thunderbird. So that's the plan. I don't know how well it's gonna work out, but yeah. I also have painted um, the inside of the roof. Again, I'm doing it hard top. Um, I feel like it keeps the figure of the car, So I still have a lot of stuff to do on here, but I was looking too in the pictures I have of the T-Bird that we saw at this show a while ago. That line there is chrome on the outside, and it also is chrome on the inside. So again, a lot of chrome I have to do, especially around the windows and stuff. Also had to put the windows in too. The headlights have been taken care of. I managed to pop them off. They were just on there with white glue, and they're off now. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I just painted the back of it chrome silver, but because of the peg, it just looks really bad. So got them off. I'm still missing one, but whatever. I didn't need it anyway because um, thanks to the donor kit, um, I was able to put these ones on. So what I did was again I took the plain clear bits and just put some bare metal foil on it. And Dad says it looks way better, and I agree. Like it was a bit hard getting them aligned perfectly, perfectly, but right, because they didn't have the pegs, and I had to make them all the same way and stuff. And the bare metal foil wasn't perfect or nothing, but also I got that tubey thing in there. I don't know. I don't know the yeah, the connecting tube thing from the radiator to the engine, and it doesn't line up with the hole. You can see that into the radiator, but it's okay. Whatever. Have some stuff to touch up. But right now, what I need to do is figure out my windshield. Um, because again, the side windows were supposed to be entrapped like inside the doors. Um, but that was just not going together. So I had to figure out a way. Like I guess I could just trim these and I don't know, stick them on there, whatever way they're supposed to go. I've also been working on the roof, so have lots of time right now, nothing else to do. So I like bare metal foil. I'd rather it than painting like on a finished surface. So yeah, I've just been doing that. It's not perfect, but I think it looks okay. I'll paint the inside of it, like that part, and on the edges just Model Master Chrome Silver probably.
So I think I'm getting close to completion here. Got my interior all assembled. I've test fitted it a couple times. The only issue I see is pushing it far enough into the body to get these side panels here level with the windowsills. But otherwise, everything's looking pretty good. And the main thing I have left to do on the body, you can see I've already done the trim work around the windows and everything like that. The the molding on the side here, that's going to be bare metal foil. I've actually, believe it or not, never done um, my mold strip on the side with bare metal foil. Natasha's done it a couple times, but I'm going to be doing it on this one. Mostly because there's not a whole lot of chrome on this car, but yet I do think there should be a fair amount of silver there. So bare metal foil is on, and I've painted my marker lights on the sides. And I think I'm very, very close to final assembly here. I haven't looked at the underside of this in a little while. The basically chrome inside ends of the wheels have been painted semi-gloss black. And yep, I think it's time to bite the bullet and start putting big pieces together. One word on this under bumper body piece here. I've just been looking at a few pictures online. On a lot of cars, it is silver. I don't know if it's absolutely chrome. It might be chrome. And on some other ones, it's matching body color. I decided to do mine matching body color, which I think looks really awesome. But it does seem to come two different ways.
This is the rear window, and as you can see, it has a random little nubby up there. And I've looked at the body and the roof, and I've determined that there were two nubbies, but this nubby right here is not supposed to be there. With all the options in this kit, because you can build it like two ways. Monogram probably got confused, they're a failure, and put random nubbies up there. So with this sanding block, I'm gonna sand that off, like that one. And then I can glue it in, and otherwise it seems to be a pretty good fit.
So we're not done yet. I still have a few little niggly things I want to put in my engine bay.
I had a major problem with the fit of my roof, and it was complicated. So we didn't feel we had enough time to get into it in this video, but we'll, show it off next video.
the next video will be the show off of the completed models. And like we said, it'll cover the one or two things that we still have left to do. So thanks for watching. Until next time, just keep on modeling.